So they changed that release date, made it a week early, and now I'm behind. So I will try and watch it by next week.
Right on. Well, because the producer's not in here, I just realized that the whole intro of the show didn't even get on streaming because I didn't push that button. That's what a producer's for. And, so now we're just now live on these streaming surfaces. So, my God.
Let's rewind it and re-say everything.
Yeah, here. I'll play the intro again. It's just like, we'll get the music going and everybody's like, oh, hey, folks, it's music. And... yeah, all you guys know how it goes. It's the intro thing. Yeah, it's whatever. Perfect. That's a lot of fun to listen. Perfect. Johnny, I know we're clipping because the producer's not here. We're flying solo. I've got a laptop. I've got a computer. I've got another computer. I've got a giant screen. I've got cameras and buttons and these things. I can't even. The cord's not even long enough to stretch over here. It's just chaos. It is chaos in here tonight. But we're glad you're joining us. McLean, shout outs to McLean and Johnny and counter example already into. Thanks, Garrett. Mr. Gunderson up there from Kansas City saying great intro, guys. I know. Yeah.
Every time, man. I mean,
every time.
Perfection is our goal always.
Well, it's the movie magic thing. You don't realize how many people are involved to make us look terrible. When you watch a film, when you watch a scene, I remember the first time I invited my parents onto a movie set, and they were like super amped about it. They're like, "Oh, we get to see a real movie being produced. We get to see you doing your thing." And I was like, "Well, you're probably not going to see much of me. I'll be down there. Just look for the giant like pole with the microphone on it, and you'll be pretty far away from the action, but you'll see it." And I was like, maybe you guys will get to be an extra or something, but you'll probably be sitting in extras holding because I can't put you anywhere else. And they were there for like 8 hours because once they got there, they kind of got trapped and they weren't allowed to leave. And they were like, man, we had no idea how much work goes into absolutely nothing.
Well, movie behind the scenes are always so, like, it seems like it's so boring when you just watch it happen before you see it through the lens of the camera too.
Yeah, and one thing that I tell a lot of people, when they're watching a film and understanding how setup works and why it takes so long, like months and months and months to, shoot and produce something that's only about an hour and a half long. And if you think about it, you watch a movie, it's like, say Jake and I are doing like an intense scene, and it's like, we're just talking about how dare you blow up the police station with that reckless endangerment when you drove the tank catching the bad guy. And,
well, if you want my badge, then you can have it.
Oh, you're off the force. Howl. And then you're like, I don't even need this stinking badge. I'm going rogue. And like the scene where you see us both in the office, and then you see the anger in my eyes and the vein in my forehead, and then you see the scene where, his fist is going down on the table with the badge, and you see his reaction, and it's cutting that's like 7 different setups, and every setup.
Probably not even in the same room.
Not even the same room. There's over the shoulder angles and different lighting.
Because you're a diva and you have to have a stand-in. You won't do the line readings with the other people. You send your stand-in for when you're not on camera.
You damn right.
That's a thing that people do in movies, which is ridiculous.
You're damn right. But yeah, it's just it's a lot of work, and appreciate the work. I think that's something we've said a lot on the show is appreciate the work, because it's a lot of it. Let's see, going in the comments, Johnny Dalton says, previously on the Drive-in Speakerbox, cool boys, and one more job. Last job. I'm going to take this one more job.
That sounds like an episode.
Jason Statham taking one last job. Johnny says he could have been an extra in The Waterboy, but he chose to ride the rides at Universal instead. Smart decision, because being an extra in the movie, when they're like, hey, want to be an extra? It's like the rest of your day to sit in a room and you're not going to be on camera. Guaranteed. You're going to be like this dirty, weird shoulder in a corner that maybe like blurs the camera angle a little bit, or you're going to be like a camera wipe where it's like your butt in shorts and you're just going to like walk across the camera.
And Star Wars you?
Moink203 Reform says, would you snack on your own D if you could? I don't know what he means by D. I mean, I like Doritos. I like Domino's. I snack on Domino's all the time. Yeah, I mean, I just snacked on Arby's before I got here.
Or like a donut that was pushed up against the wall of like a baking tray, and so it's flat or something.
That's a Long John.
No, but only on one side, but it still has the donut hole, so it's a D shape instead of an O shape.
Oh, yeah, like a pastry D.
Yeah.
Dinner, yeah, we eat dinner. I ate dinner like I had Arby's, you know. So what was the old Arby's, like early 2000s tagline? Arby's is different. Hey, different is good. Garrett says he means penis. Well, that starts with a P, so I think you're wrong. All right, so yeah, anyway, let's talk about news that's been happening in the world. Movie news, there has been stuff going on. You got anything, Jake?
I have so many things. Today is a bad week for the producer to not be here because everything over the course of the last week has been straight up nothing but Warner Media. Like DC, Warner Media, Mortal Kombat, all of it. So we got images from a lot of new Warner Media properties or subsidiaries, including Godzilla vs. King Kong, Mortal Kombat.
They even snuck in a little bit of Dune there.
They did. So
talking about HBO Max getting Dune.
Talking about HBO Max, which is the Warner Media, AT&T, Time Warner streaming everything. So
no! Don't watch these movies on HBO Max.
Yeah,
damn it! Don't.
All of these movies that are getting a HBO Max and theatrical release at the same time. But check out what you have coming up this year, most of which is going to be a same time release.
I'm listening.
You have
what do we got?
Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Okay.
You have Locked Down, which is like a movie about COVID. I know a lot of our people have asked us what we think movies are going to be like. Are they going to have stories about this?
Of course
there's a movie coming out right there.
Already filming them.
In
progress.
That's going to be released this month here in just a few weeks. Or a week or two. There's a movie called The Little Things that's been advertised heavily with Rami Malek and Denzel Washington and a Jared Leto, who it's hard.
They still allowing movies for some reason.
Yeah. So that one's going to be on HBO. The Tom and Jerry movie is going to be on HBO.
We talked about that trailer a few weeks ago, and I just don't.
So Justice League, Zack Snyder cut, is going to be released in
as
March,
a movie.
As a movie.
4-hour movie.
So it no longer will be episodic, but instead will be a full-blown movie. And that is per Zack Snyder himself.
It was supposed. They were talking about it being a miniseries.
Well, they're cutting it into 4 parts, and that was so that.
So it's 4 movies?
No, it's 1 movie.
Okay,
but it's 4 hours.
All right.
And the justification for cutting it into several parts was that Zack Snyder said that it's his director's cut, which means it's his vision, everything he wants to put in it, and he would not compromise.
He wants 4 cuts.
Anything like that. No, he wanted to have as much room as possible.
Act
but
1.
Now they're letting it be a 4-hour movie, which honestly isn't that much longer than a lot of movies that people
like
get
Wonder Woman 84 was 17 hours 46 minutes. That's what it felt like anyway.
Which, speaking of Wonder Woman 84 and movies on HBO at the same time, this week is your last chance to watch it on HBO Max if that's what you're choosing to do. It will hit its 30-day stream limit before it becomes available on home video to buy and things like that.
So VOD, own it on Amazon Prime, all that kind of stuff where you don't actually own it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the free streaming or HBO Max streaming will end this week. And that's how they're doing it. They're doing 30-day stream and theater release, but the stream ends at the 30-day mark.
I feel like
to kill it at the movie theater.
All of these things that are coming out in streaming and theater at the same time, you resist the stream. I know it's there. I know it's on the counter. I know it's like having some tasty D or whatever your D of choice to munch on is in the kitchen. It's right. It's convenient. It's right there. But it's not the same quality D that you could get from the theater. You can get 3D in the theater. You can get Dolby in the theater. You can get all the stuff, all the Ds, all the good Ds in the theater that you can't get at home. So just hold out. And sometimes waiting a little bit to the payoff is better. You know what I mean? Just wait a second till you can get like the full experience of seeing these movies in the theater. Just freaking stream it like it's just some sort of Pornhub clip to get the job done real quick. That just cheapens the act. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if we're gonna just ride the D-Man for like that long, then I figured I'd just bring it home.
Well, speaking of things that you can bring home, continuing.
Sunny D.
Yeah, continuing with our list of theaters and HBO at the same time. Mortal Kombat, another movie that we got our first images in this last
week.
See,
if the producer were here, he'd have like
showing all the pictures.
He'd be pushing a. Yeah, that he'd make that noise. Yeah, that's what he would do.
Well, so Mortal Kombat's going to be another one that's going to be put on HBO and in the theaters at the same time. We got our first images of Mortal Kombat over this last week.
So that picture you shared in our group chat with Jax.
Yeah, with Jax and the dude playing Jax, it looked like Steve Harvey.
It did look like Steve Harvey.
And I was upset at our producer. I said, "How come you didn't tell me Steve Harvey was playing Jax?" But if you see the pictures about it,
there's some
funny.
really good supercuts of Steve Harvey. I don't know if you ever watched Super Deluxe. Oh my God.
Yeah, yes.
Super Deluxe Steve Harvey. Oh my God, so good.
But so in the Mortal Kombat movie, now that we have our pictures from it, some pictures we get to see Liu Kang and Kung Lao. I think there's a picture of Raiden.
Is Kung Lao the dude with the razor hat? Like that seems so dangerous to like.
That's why only Kung Lao can use it, man. You get to see Liu Kang kind of like do his fireball.
But what if like his hat? He's like in a windy day, and like his hat blows off, and he has to catch it really quick. Like, how does he do that? Like,
it's a big, heavy hat.
Okay.
So you get to see a lot of images from it, including Sub-Zero, all that stuff. But you know what I found out while I was looking into it?
What'd you find out?
A couple of my favorite actors are in this movie and playing
Scorpion. Kevin Hart, The Rock.
No. Oh, but I have news.
John Cena.
I have news about The Rock for you here in a little bit.
His TV show.
And John Cena is on this list. But Mortal Kombat, Hiroyuki Sanada is in that playing Scorpion. He is the antagonist in Onmyoji. Mm-hmm. He was the dude that smacks Tom Cruise in the face in The Last Samurai.
That's right.
He is in The Wolverine. He's in Westworld. He was in Avengers Endgame. What else would white people know him from? He was in 47 Ronin. Onmyoji is fantastic. If you ever get a chance to watch
he's pretty awesome.
The first Onmyoji movie, it is perfect. It's about Abi no Seimei and the Onmyoji, and it is the best. But also, Asano Tadanobu is playing Raiden in it, and he also was in 47 Ronin, and he plays Hogan in all the Thor movies, and he was in Battleship as the guy that...
that movie that was so good with Rihanna.
That it was better than it should have been.
Wait, did we watch the same Battleship?
Yeah, did it have Liam Neeson in it?
I mean, definitely something sunk in that movie, and it was the ratings.
You know what else is coming to HBO, same time as theaters, and probably more for HBO? The next Conjuring movie.
Like about the ghosts?
Yeah.
The Conjureverse?
Yeah, The Conjuring Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh, good God.
The new...
Do we need more movies? Like... Is the Annabelle, is that in the Conjureverse? Yeah. And the in what's the other one? The I can't think of it right now. Where it's another movie like with The Nun, is that from the Conjureverse?
You're the horror movie guy. You have to tell me.
Well, they're all so stupid at this point.
Speaking of things that are stupid, there's another Lin-Manuel Miranda musical movie that's coming to HBO in theaters, but it might do well. People really like that guy. I personally don't get it. But that's a thing that's going to be out there. And things that super suck. Space Jam, a new legacy is coming out, and it's about...
So they only teased. I didn't
There's
see...
some images of Space Jam in the new HBO commercial.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of... Oh, dude, hang on.
What are you doing?
I'm just making... I'm visiting a website really quick because I was going to do something administrative that the producer would normally do. Continue about Space Jam.
Yeah, so in the new Space Jam, you get to see some images from it, and this time around, it's LeBron and his son are sucked into a world of virtual nonsense.
God damn it, where is our producer?
Yeah, I need him. Just quit trying to make it special. Let's do it like we used to do.
Jesus Christ.
But he has to deal with like a digital some nonsense. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Suicide Squad 2. The Suicide Squad is the official title there. They just put "the" in front of it. It will be on HBO as well as theaters. And
just why? Why?
Because the reasons. Dune, despite the pushback
why?
from Villeneuve, will be on HBO, and it's not being released until October.
And I'm gonna wait, just like McLean said in the comments. He waited until he was just the other day years old, and saw Alien in the theater for the first time, and he said it was totally worth the wait, which it was. Yeah. It's a movie that if you've never seen it in the theater, you absolutely must see it in the theater because it is so good and so worth checking out.
Well, and then what else was probably going to be aimed more for theatrical release, but you'll be able to watch at home? Matrix 4, which is slated to be released in December.
Why?
Because reasons. But if that's not enough to bring you over to the streaming services, they're also doing a reboot of Gossip Girl. They've signed on for 2 seasons of Boondocks. There's a Aquaman 3-part series, Young Justice Season 4, a Gremlins animated TV show, Secrets of the Mogwai, a new Yogi Bear series.
Wait. Why a Gremlins TV show? Why would you do this?
Because they need to. I don't know.
No, they don't need to do this. There's absolutely no reason to have a Gremlins TV show. It's just, we did it. We've been there. We've done that. It's a thing. We made it. We don't need another one. That's all I'm going to say about a Gremlins TV show.
Well, it's going to be out there. And then Warner Media was in the news leading up to this as well. Ray Fisher, a.k.a. the Cyborg in the Justice League movie and Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice and all this, managed to get himself fired from the Flash movie that's being filmed right now. And he continued the controversy that he stirred up here not that long ago. And it continues to do so. So WB decided that it was just time for him to not be part of it, and he has been released and his part removed from the movie. So I think the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League is probably the last time we'll see him in DCEU as that actor. They probably have Cyborg, but different.
But did you also hear that Superman is getting scouted by the MCU to be in a Marvel something or another?
You're talking Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill, yeah. They want him to play... I can't remember what it was because I got so distracted banning that asshole from our chat that I can't think straight. But yeah, they want to play. They want him to play some British superhero, and I can't think of what the name of it was. But I don't know.
Captain Britain.
Yes, it was Captain Britain. EJ asked thoughts about Sex and the City reboot without Samantha. We talked about that last week. Yeah. And we went into full details.
I don't know that we had thoughts about it, but we just kind of talked about it. And
we talked about Samantha. We talked about
Kim Cattrall hates
yeah.
Sarah Jessica Parker, and Sarah Jessica Parker, as well as the other actresses, do not care for Kim Cattrall. And Kim Cattrall had announced like 2 or 3 years back when she turned
I like old Kim Cattrall movies. I don't know her in person, but maybe she's a huge
want to continue that character because she didn't care for it. But you know what? Maybe she'll come back for like for Big Trouble in Little China 2.
No, I don't want to. Why do you have to keep bringing up stuff that I don't want to hear about? I don't want a Big Trouble in Little China 2 starring The Rock, which is getting his own origin story TV show on NBC.
Autobiographical. Yeah, and it hops through different ages of The Rock.
No.
So including his current age now.
No. Logan is trying to tease us about a Top Gun anime.
There's a Highlander anime. There are several X-Men anime. There's
no Highlander anime.
Yes, there is too. Google it.
There's a Highlander cartoon show that was on USA.
There's a Highlander anime.
What?
Yes.
There can be only one cartoon animated show.
Yeah.
I don't know about this. Oh, okay. EJ asks, should Army Hammer replace Samantha in Sex and the City? Well, if you've been reading the news, if Army Hammer replaced Samantha, then Army Hammer would eat everyone. And I don't know if you've been following this story.
I looked into it, and I checked like Snopes and things, and so far the general conjecture is that it's completely fabricated.
Man, that's what they said about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah,
right?
Like in real life, it's not funny, and I'm sorry that I laughed, but a man escaped his apartment and tried to get the police to help him, and the police walked him back and gave him back to Dahmer.
They're like, no, you're crazy. Why would anyone do this? Mm-hmm. But no, the allegations going out is that that Army Hammer is drinking human female blood and into some really crazy crap and eating flesh and stuff that you only see in episodes of Tales from the Crypt, where it's like, oh, rich people are really weird, and then you say the password. It's like, what was the password in Eyes Wide Shut? Like something
Bella.
No, that was the different password. It was like something Hatio, not fellatio, but something very close.
I don't know. I only started to watch that movie one time when I was young, and it was on HBO at someone else's house, and then it got turned off. So,
well, dude, you shouldn't have gotten it.
I have no desire to go back and watch.
Oh, it was Fidelio, which means faithful in Latin, and then they go in there, and it's like everybody just like sucking and screwing and squeezing and tweaking, and Army Hammer's in there cutting off butt cheeks and taking bites out of them. I mean, it's okay to take a bite out of a butt cheek, but leave it attached, Army. Like, leave the butt cheek attached and don't bite it off, like just enough to leave a mark. And this guy has just like been all over the news. Like he has a secret Instagram. And I tried to show you the Instagram, and it's just like chicks with masks on, like all fours, like going, yes, my slave master, and he's like, ha, 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 look at that, isn't that weird? And that's weird.
If it's secret, then how does anyone know?
No, it's a private Instagram, kind of like OnlyFans. You gotta, not everybody gets to see that stuff. And even if you try to Google it, don't tell me you don't know about this interwebs, the darkness. He's just not. You're just not willing to. You're just not being true to yourself or your fans.
No, I've been out.
They're only our fans out here. It's just only fans out there.
Man, you know what? I'm
embarrassed.
I know. I stay.
He doesn't want to talk about his foreign films. He doesn't want to.
Actually, hey, let's talk about some foreign films real quick, because Johnny brought it up. He said Gandhi, the legend continues, which UHF. If you've never seen UHF, watch that for the
Conan the Librarian.
And the Gandhi sequel. Mm-hmm. But talking about Indian films and cinema, Amazon with a Prime original called Tandav. It is a streaming series. Prime original, and it's like a political drama, kind of like a House of Cards or The Crown type show, but for India and politics there. And a lot of politicians and lawmakers in India are very upset about it.
Why? Why are they upset?
Because of the portrayals of Hindu gods in it. And so all of these Hindu-centered people...
angered the gods.
Yeah, are very
the gods must be
mad
crazy.
About it, and they are... They are
it's another movie.
Sending letters in. They're trying to get police involved, and they're trying to push for a ban of the series streaming in India right now. But
it seems like it's the only place it would get really popular.
Exactly, and that was Amazon's plan, and it's not working, and it's bad news because the Indian film market is one of the big things that Amazon is banking on.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked about it before during the pandemic stuff. A lot of movies that would have been released in one of India's like 9,000 theaters are all being put on Amazon and things like that, which I personally have a subscription built into my Amazon for Eros, which is a Indian streaming service.
EROS?
Yeah, I know.
Is that a different subscription service that we?
No, that is what it's called, and it's for Indian films. Look it up, Cody.
It's for foreign films. Eros.
I knew that was coming. I don't know why I said anything, but it's really good, and you have a lot of films and everything there. But even without that subscription that I pay, in addition to that, to have access to other movies, you can still watch a lot of Indian cinema on Amazon, and they seem to have really taken that from Netflix, which used to have quite a bit on there.
Well, I think Netflix split up into different country-specific streaming services. So there's like Netflix UK, Netflix France, Netflix Spain, and it has a lot of that programming that's more directed towards that demographic.
Sure, but I mean, they used to have quite a bit of Indian cinema available on Netflix in the U.S., and Amazon seems to really be the one leading in all of that kind of a thing. So it's kind of shocking to see that India hates Amazon for this series, and it's causing a lot of controversy there right now. So we'll just have to see how that goes there. And then what else did we have? The Rock.
Netflix Delaware. For all that Delaware-specific content,
look,
Johnny.
We're in Delaware.
Delaware.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Talking about streaming services, Peacock, NBC.
Are we talking about The Rock show now?
Young Rock, man. That's a thing. The Rock posted a
Didn't they
sneak
do,
peek trailer
like,
for
was it Fox that did the Young Chris Rock show?
Everybody Hates Chris.
Everybody Hates Chris. And is this going to be like kind of a page out of the playbook of Everybody Hates Chris?
That was the very first thing I thought of when I saw the news about that this morning, because this is fresh news. The very first thing I thought of was that it was going to be a Everybody Hates Chris type thing, because The Rock is going to narrate it as himself. But he's set to kind of have cameo roles, in like.
Well, I would hope if it's a show about him.
Well, but at the same time, Chris Rock never showed himself on camera.
True.
And it's supposed to be like The Rock sitting in a chair or whatever and be like, hey, this is about my life and the one time that this happened. And then he narrates the show, and you see him through different stages of his life, like a child, a teenager, a 20-something,
adolescent,
and then The Rock
college,
as he is now. So
and then
the guys
you smell what he's cooking.
Yeah, well, so the guys they cast and the kids they cast and the people they cast as his parents actually all look pretty accurate to The Rock, which is we'll see how
it looked. I mean, I watched the trailer for it. It looked like some good casting. So I was.
So Johnny says he would rather see a young Rowdy Roddy Piper. I don't think it would be near as interesting.
Just a series about bubblegum.
The Rock, as
and
a
how
kid
he ran
growing
out.
up, if you go into it, he was kind of a troublesome kid, but both of his parents were from wrestling. His dad was Rocky Johnson, a super famous wrestler. His mom was part of the...
Is that where he got the name The Rock? From his dad?
Yes.
Okay.
Because his name was Rocky Maivia, because his mom was from the Anawa'i wrestling family, with King Maivia and all that stuff. So he was Rocky Maivia, which was his name for both of his dad and his mom's sides of his family. And then they shortened it down to The Rock when he became cool.
When he got out of culinary school and started cooking.
So The Rock, he has an interesting life. He's very heavily involved in cinema, and he's franchised Viagra and all that stuff. In cinema. When he was a kid, he was a troublemaker, and then
cinema
he got
Journey
into
2,
WWE and everything. And I think that'd be a little bit more interesting than seeing Rowdy Roddy Piper, kid from Canada, with a Scottish gimmick and all of that, but.
And then behind the scenes on Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm sure that, as Johnny pointed out, everyone kind of has a story, and you can make almost anything interesting anymore. But I think...
It's called lying.
The Rock is one of those people who, as a character, kind of transcends a lot of things. And I don't think there's a person on earth besides old Dingus here that isn't super into The Rock. So...
I mean, I like The Rock as much as the next guy, but it's not something that I'm just gonna be like, yo, give me some Rock riding a bee in that movie.
That's your favorite scene, The Rock and Michael Caine and
riding a goddamn bee.
Bees?
Yeah. Questions, thoughts on Daniel Bryan on Total Bellas? I'm going to defer this to you because I know this is one of your favorite programs.
No, I've never watched it. I've never watched it. I one time tried to watch like 2 episodes of Total Divas, and I just couldn't do
So
it.
you already are more of an expert on this than I am.
It's because it was wrestling, and they showed a couple of behind-the-scenes things that they didn't offer through other platforms. Like, you got to see that Finn Balor was at some shows that you didn't know he ever had attended and things like that before it was ever announced he was part of WWE. So there were little things like that, if you watch it as a fan, that you can point out based on the timeline, because you have nothing better to do than know way too much about wrestling.
So EJ asked you, do you like Daniel Bryan in general?
Like as a person?
I don't. What is he a wrestler?
Daniel Bryan's a wrestler, yeah. I mean, I think Daniel Bryan is probably a super rad dude in real life. I have friends that have met him, and he's tweeted back and forth with some of my friends that are wrestlers, and he seems like a great person.
What's his character? Does he have like a...
His character is Daniel Bryan.
Oh.
He's Bryan Danielson is in real life. His character is Daniel Bryan.
He really thought long and hard on his stage name.
That was
there.
WWE.
Gotcha. Sounds like a country western singer.
He was the American Dragon.
There's no dragons in America.
There was when he was wrestling in Chikara.
Okay. Okay.
No, Daniel Bryan's a cool dude. I'm just his wrestling style's not for me. So
what is his wrestling style? There are styles.
Lots of holds. He does a lot of really slow build
styles.
Like holds and things like that.
Isn't that what?
It's kind of between technical and flair, because he'll do like backflips and stuff like that.
So there's wrestling styles?
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's like Rey Mysterio styles. What would Undertaker's style be?
Gimmick. I mean,
that's my
Yeah.
Do you ship John Cena and Nikki Bella?
Well, John Cena just got married to his fiance. The Canadian,
as
lady.
most people do when they get fiancés. Yeah.
I can't remember what her name is, but they just got married here recently, within the last week or two. So I don't think, and I think Nikki Bella is married as well now. She has a child and all of that. So I don't think that's a thing that you can ship anymore.
What do you mean ship?
Like, is
this like wrestling terms?
No, ship is like a 2020 term.
Oh. Man, I'm old. I don't watch all these wrestling styles. I don't know what's going on in the world of divas and bellas. I like portobellas. Those are good.
Mushrooms are gross.
No, they're not. I mean, yes, they're fungus, but they're delicious fungus. And they make great pizza toppings. And soup. A la cream of. Logan asks, Jake, do your favorite... This is just the Jake. I'm just interviewing Jake from the audience. Jake, do your favorite wrestling styles show up in any of your favorite foreign films?
I don't know that any kind of professional wrestling really shows up in foreign films outside of things like...
Eros.
No, like Tony Jaa movies and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They sometimes have people that will use a more wrestling-oriented style, but nothing as technical. I like a lot of people that are technically proficient, but can put entertaining on it. Like, I like Cody Rhodes.
What's Hulk Hogan's style?
Dude, Hogan is just, I don't know.
What about the Ultimate Warrior style?
Ultimate Warrior style was blow up, get gassed, and hope that the other guy can carry you through the match.
Now, is that like a professional term? Like,
blow up and gassed?
Yeah, you're like, that guy comes from the blow up and gassed school of fighting.
I think it would apply.
It's like crazy jiu-jitsu. It's like blow up and gassed.
No, I think that would apply primarily to Ultimate Warrior.
I only get blow up and gassed when I go get nachos.
Well, the whole thing
burritos.
is he would run out. He would exhaust all of his energy in his intro.
And he's like,
and then the whole thing is that he would fail to help protect the other wrestler, and they would have to carry him through matches. So, Johnny asked, didn't Liam Neeson come out with a movie this
weekend?
Marksman. That's what we were talking about at the top of the show.
Yeah.
Marksman. It is something that I thought was coming out this week because I looked it up and it said it was coming out this week.
Came out last week.
Turns out they released it a week early. So.
Yeah, and Jake here, he is a huge Liam Neeson fan. That guy is going to be doing 60 cut jumps over fences till he's 90.
I was about to say, to be fair on this, I was a big Liam Neeson fan Taken. That's why I went and watched Taken in the theater. But that's because, dude, Rob Roy, Krull, Star Wars. What else you got?
Men in Black 4.
No.
These great movies that Liam Neeson are in.
Excalibur.
Oh, that's right. He was in Excalibur.
Yeah, he's the one that pointed out that Guinevere was making eyeballs at Lancelot, and they were having meetings in the fields. And he was like, "Arthur, you need to check them.
This out.
Yeah, your best friend and your queen are getting together,
rolling in the hay.
Yeah, they're fondling each other's bee cheeks over there. You need to check on that." And then Arthur stands up and he's like, "Screw you!" And then he's like, "You're gonna have to fight now. What you say about that?" It's like, who's gonna champion
that queen? Round table, man?
Yeah,
what a bunch of drama.
Oh yeah,
bunch of hens in the hen house. John Johnson says Darkman. Darkman rules. Forgot that. Well, he's in bandages so much.
Dude, but Darkman's so cool because he's always like, "Fuck you, I'll kill you." And then you're like, "God, Jesus, man, he's
calm
crazy.
down, Dark. Yeah. You're getting dark here, man." And
Darkman makes me terrified of cigar cutters.
Oh my God, yeah. Ooh. Well, and speaking of cigar cutters, you just finished Cobra Kai season 3.
I did, and Tony pointed out another one, Next of Kin with Patrick Swayze. Yes.
Oh yeah, Bill Paxton.
But yeah, I did. I because you pumped it up so much.
I'm sorry I let you down.
I watched all of Cobra Kai. I got it finished as far as where they are right now. Pretty good.
I told you it was pretty good. It's pretty good for a third season of a TV show based around a movie that was like 25 years old.
And I like that they base it around all 3 of the Karate Kid movies, but they don't throw it all at you at once or anything. They're like, "Oh, here's a lesson that applies to this," just as I learned it in this movie, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's a cool."
Where's the Karate Kid 3 come in though?
That's the one where he joins Cobra Kai. That's where Daniel.
Oh, that's right. Where there's the ponytail guy that's just like, "We're gonna make you famous, but you gotta get hard. You gotta be a hard ass." Yeah, and then Kreese comes back and is just
Daniel's like, "I conquered Cobra Kai. I conquered Okinawa, and now I'm gonna be a badass boy.
I'm gonna be a TV show, big touring karate chop kid." The thing that I really liked about Cobra Kai season 3 is how like. Even in the show, they're like, "I don't know why this town's so obsessed with karate," but and they always kept referring to the fact that everyone's like, "The All Valley tournament, oh no!" And even the lady at City Hall is like, "I have no idea why you guys are so obsessed with this crap, but if you guys have to have your tournament, you're gonna have this tournament."
So it's pretty good, and if you like Karate Kid at all, then you'll probably enjoy it. The only thing is, it does get very CW teen drama.
Yeah,
and there's parts around it, like the parts about Daniel and Johnny and the adults and stuff can be really good. And then you have the parts with the kids that makes no sense in any world ever.
No.
They always pose it as like realistic, and what would it be if these characters
they go into high school and like break this kid's arm in 7 pieces, and they're like, "Well, these kids these days and their karates."
Yeah, like things that would obviously in the real world put you
in prison,
in legit prison, and have you tried it as an adult. And like they break into homes and they set stuff
stealing
on fire.
Cars
and they just do all the things, and the only time that anyone suffers for is when it's needed for the plot to change someone's attitude because they're a bad boy but they're going to be good. Oh, they're a good kid, now they're going to be bad. So there's a lot of things like that are really dumb, but and
then they throw in D. Snyder, and you're like, everything's okay
but
again.
Then they sandwich it between things that are really, really good, and you're just like, "Oh yeah, this show rules." And Johnny, just like you said, man, he's the coolest. He like, they do the whole How I Met Your Mother thing where Neil Patrick Harris, where Barney points out the Karate Kid was Johnny. Johnny was really the hero, and Ralph Macchio, Daniel LaRusso, was a total butthole boy. And they point it out every so often, and even in
you didn't hear you've only heard one side of this story.
Yeah, and in season 3 they come in and they point out, well, Daniel's kind of really a dick. And he was more Johnny as portrayed in the movie than Johnny was, because Johnny was just a kid trying to make it in life, and here comes Mr. Jersey wanting to be a hotshot butthole, make a name for himself, and
breaking radios, breaking hearts, breaking noses,
ruin everyone's life.
Ruin everybody's Halloween party. Like, what is this dude? So
there's a lot of it that though is really good. Johnny's like Coors drinking, muscle car driving, super cool dude,
poverty stricken.
It's me. I'm Johnny Lawrence. Apparently, I've done karate and jiu-jitsu and stuff before. Wasn't bad at it. Johnny asked, "What about the next Karate Kid?" No. So far, the show's been set up to where that doesn't exist, which is perfect. There's no mention of Miyagi having another student. There's no talk about like anything to do with Hilary Swank. Don't put that bad juju out there.
No, and not the Kung Fu Kid either. Even though that was an okay movie with an inappropriate title.
Yeah, they just co-opted the name, and they're like, "Oh, he's like a Karate Kid." He's like, "No, it's Kung Fu."
Except I'm in China, and this is Kung Fu. And
they just use the name, and then they discard it. Yeah, it was garbage. Sorry, Jackie Chan.
Yeah. Johnny Dalton says, talking about Jaws remake. Can't wait for the Jaws show from the shark's perspective. I'd watch that.
Well, actually, if you get into the Jaws sequel movies, that's kind of the point of those movies is that...
Jaws 3? 3D?
Yeah, like 3 and 4. You find out that really the sharks have been coming after them because of revenge for Bruce. So that was the whole plot point of 4.
Like, why'd you kill our homeboy? Mm-hmm. What was that movie with Will Smith, A Shark's Tale? Was that? Yes. Okay. It was from the shark's perspective. No one's given the love for the sharks. Like, where are there?
You get to see the camera point from the sharks.
No, I'm just talking about, are there any movies out there where, like, the shark is the hero? Or sharks are always, like, the bad guy? That's kind of sad.
Street Sharks.
Okay, Street Sharks. I remember my Moby Lick action figure. Oh man, that looked like a foreign film for sure. It was had this thing on the back that you wind it, and its big old tongue would be like, and I bought it on Auction Universe when I was a kid, which turned into eBay, and it came in, and I ordered it, and I was pumped about it, and it smelled like cigarettes really bad, and so I had to leave it outside on the back patio for months and months and months before I could like actually bring it in because it smelled so bad of cigarettes. He just says Free Willy. I guess that counts. It's more of a whale, but a killer whale. But he wasn't a killer. But I would see. What if there was a? Yeah, we mentioned Shark's Tale. I don't know. I can't think of many. Other than those.
Yeah, man, you got me on that one. I don't know.
Wait, what was there was a Hanna-Barbera character, Jabberjaw. He was a shark. Jabberjaw. He was a good guy.
Yeah, Jabberjaw was the coolest. Yeah,
and he would stand on his like dorsals and be like, and like all cartoon characters back then would run like. I wonder what that like instrument was that was like the cartoon run. There was the startup where it was like, where it was like a dust cloud, and then it would go. Did you not watch cartoons when you were a freaking kid?
No, I did. I talked about another Hanna-Barbera property. They're making a new Yogi Bear TV show for HBO Max called Jellystone. How about that? We get some more.
Why'd you ruin my good mood there? Is this going to be like? Is this going to be like half CGI, half live action?
It's supposed to be all animated.
God. Okay. Well, if it's all animated, I can. That is, but it's probably going to be in that 3D CGI, like.
It's just gonna be Yogi going, "Hey, boo boo."
Is it gonna be like rated R?
Steal some picnic baskets.
I don't know, Yogi. And then he's like, "Hey, boo boo." What's the park ranger's name? Park ranger's never gonna find out.
Yeah, I can't
I'm
remember.
Smarter than the average man.
Yeah, I always thought Yogi was the coolest, so I couldn't tell you.
I remember when I was a kid, we went to the Yogi Bear campground. I think it was in Florida, outside of Disney World because we were too.
It's not where Jellystone is.
Oh, Jellystone doesn't exist. It's Yellowstone. It's supposed to be. I thought, and then it's supposed to be Yellowstone National Park. It's Jellystone. I don't know. Ranger Smith says Vince. Thanks you.
Vince.
EJ says The Color of Money, where the shark is the hero. That's I like where you're thinking at. That's a pool shark. That is a good movie. But yeah. So we went to the Jellystone campground because we weren't like wealthy enough to stay where normal people that went to theme parks got to stay, so we stayed at this. And I remember it was really, really cool campground, and everything was like Yogi Bear themed.
And then your picnic basket went missing.
Well, they would always have these signs up that were just like, hey, don't leave your picnic baskets out and all this kind of stuff. And when you're like 10, you're like, oh man, what if Yogi's gonna get it? Oh, that's gonna be so cool. And God, kids are stupid. I guess I was stupid. I don't know. Kids these days are super smart. They'd like TikTok about it, and
those kids in Cobra Kai are real freaking
God,
stupid.
they were so stupid. Kids these days are all children are stupid. Children, if you're watching, you're stupid. Get smart.
Zaxoff points out that it's like Riverdale, just another show, just those CW.
That's the one that's based off of Archie comics, right? How are we basing things off Archie comics? We're like
super drama and everything's like real dirty sex teens or whatever the CW makes TV shows about. So it's like it goes from Jughead like innocently eating hamburgers and French fries to like to just innocently eating ass at Riverdale. Like what dude was just like, you know what, guys, in the planning room, they're like, we really need a new concept for a show, and he's got like a Dairy Queen bag from the 1960s or something, or a piece of bazooka gum that he's chewing. He's like, dude, Archie Comics. And everyone's like, what, Chad? Did you just say? And he's like, Archie Comics. Let's do a show based off Archie Comics. And everybody's like, what? What are Archie Comics? And he goes, exactly. And who doesn't know about Archie Comics?
Children don't. That's what. And these are the people watching this stuff.
Apparently one of the kids in Riverdale runs a speakeasy.
That didn't happen in Archie Comics.
No.
McLean says The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix was pretty good though with the CW treatment.
That's Archie Comics right there.
I just started watching Sabrina, the new one on Netflix.
I couldn't do it.
And it's all just like, unholy Satan dark Hogwarts, and to a point where it's just like hilarious. And they use this like camera style that drives me nuts, where it's like they figured out how to use the bokeh feature or whatever on their shitty camera that they're using, and it's like everything is artificially blurred out in the background except for what they're pointing at, and it just looks like stupid. John Dalton says Family Circus After Dark. That would be a good comic strip turned movie. Where's our Phantom? Can we get a new Phantom movie but also put Billy Zane back in the role of Phantom? Yeah, I'm here for that.
Vince says that he hears they try to make Sabrina overly sexy. Everything in that show is like that. That's the CW treatment that we're talking about.
Everything on,
and it's weird because they're like, oh, they're 15.
Yeah, I'm 16, and let's put them in tight.
Please
everything and make them kiss. And
what was that movie on Netflix that made all those Texas governors so uncomfortable because it was too close to their lives? It was like the French director, and it had the girls in the pageants and stuff, and it was in the news real big.
For like the Honey Boo Boo show, or the one on Netflix.
The one on Netflix.
I don't remember the name of it, but they were like over sexualization of young
which
children.
Was the point of the movie, but it's kind of like that.
Yeah, it's weird. Everything's weird. But yeah, the world is weird, and everybody's trying to make everything sexy, and everybody's trying to reuse ideas that are super old. And it's kind of like, speaking of the last thing I want to talk about, because I want to talk about this earlier, the new Lord of the Rings series that they've been talking about on Amazon. They've been talking about this is going to be the most expensive show ever created in the history of shows being created. And, they're like, well, this story is going to take place 1,000 years before anything you guys know about Lord of the Rings.
No, well, and they announced that the other day, like it was an announcement. For the whole time they've been saying that it's going to take place in the Second Age.
Yeah.
And I don't see why you would have anything negative about that.
I don't. I actually don't, because I think it's really, really smart. Because
the Second Age is fucking baller, bro.
But
you ever get into Lord of the Rings lore?
Well,
dude?
then you're clearly going to hate the show, because my point was going to be there's very few people that are like, dude, Second Age, but then you're over here going like, dude, Second Age.
I'm talking about marking out Balrogs and super badass elf dudes that don't take shit, and dwarves being sick as fuck.
And the mines of Moria aren't abandoned. They're just like in there forging steel and like being dwarves and being like drinking all the time.
Yo, you can see how the Balrog came to be Durin's Bane, bro. Or was that at the first age? I think it was Second Age.
And then you can see the rise of Sauron and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, I know why they did this is because it's kind of a smart move. They're like, there's only a handful of people that aren't going to be listened to or taken seriously when they get mad about it. So we're going to make something so far out of context like Guardians of the Galaxy was. They're like, yeah, there's probably a fan base out there, but fuck them. And they can do literally whatever they want.
They're not making it a comedy like Guardians.
No, I'm just saying they can write whatever characters they want, make the characters do whatever they want. They're gonna. No. They're totally gonna.
You can't do that because the elven lines are established. The countries and the forts and the battles are already there. You can't just make characters out of nowhere, but you can show Sauron being a pretty boy and whatever his friggin' elf name was when he came to people and was like, forging the rings because I'm pretty. And everyone's like, oh yeah, dude, you're the prettiest dude I've ever seen. I will forge these
listen to
rings.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. When he was that guy where he was like, oh, I'm God of gifts and being a pretty man. And everyone's like, God, you know what? Yeah.
Quit being so cool.
Yeah. Like, you can have all that stuff, but you can't just make characters out of nowhere. That's not okay.
And they will.
No. Can't do that.
Yes. They'll make one character to ruin your day. Yeah.
There's so much badass shit from Lord of the Rings that they could just totally go into and have all of these fights and battles and super rad characters.
They're not going to do it. You know they're not going to do it. They're going to Game of Thrones this shit so fast. They're going to do...
They can show how the men of the East got warped and turned evil by Sauron.
And riding them elephants and sliding down them trunks and no one cares about them. They're going to... like the dudes from... 300 rolling in to show their origin stories. Yeah. It's gonna be weird, man.
So Vince said Sauron's original name was Myron. Yeah, but I'm talking like when he presented himself as like the super image of like everything beauty and God of creation, and like went to all of the peoples in Middle Earth and acted like he was a real cool boy. But then they turned out they were going to learn today.
They learned that lesson.
Yeah.
He was not a cool boy.
You can have...
Never trust beautiful people.
In the Second Age, you can have the dude that forged the rings, and you can have him making the door that has the password for friend...
Bella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have all
see how Gandalf got turned into he's an angel.
No, you can't have Gandalf. He wasn't put on the earth until the third.
But you could show him in heaven.
As a Maiar?
I don't know. I didn't read all that stuff. I'm not a geek.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sauron's original name was Myron, but then altered after he was subjoined by Melkor. But then he continued to call himself Myron the Admirable and Tarmaron King Excellent. King Excellent. I like that.
Until after Numenor sank.
Excellent.
Dude, make a Bill and Ted Middle Earth,
dude.
Then you can make whatever character.
Where he goes back, and that's where they go get the babes, the princesses. Yeah, dude, I would watch the living shit out of that, where it's just Bill and Ted in the Middle Ages, because that was one of my favorite parts of the original movie. Where
Iron Maiden.
Yeah. Oh man, they could put on that armor and they're like, "Oh, this sucks. How does anybody move in this?" And they're like,
"So, you know what though? I think Vince brought up something cool. I think in the series, if they just showed a whole bunch about Numenorians and things like that, that would be sick. I don't know why you would have anything against
Numenorians.
Maya, yeah.
Oh, that was yeah, that was bad. I think that's a sign. Johnny says he's related to Baron Von Bogus. Baron Von Bogus? I like that even better. Well, we're out of time, guys. It is that time. We're up against our hour. We're going to get out of here. We do thank you guys for tuning in. You can always hit us up in the comments on the Facebooks, the Twitches, and the YouTubes. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. You can download our podcasts wherever you get podcasts on your podcaster, and listen to us on the go. Take us in your pocket. Put us in your front pocket, your back pocket, or wherever you put your pockets. And yeah, we're gonna I don't know where people have pockets. We won't fit in the little quarter pocket where you put your stimulus check.
Put your hand in my pocket, grab onto my cell phone.
Grab it. That's a Ace Frehley song, isn't it?
YouTube channel with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Rocket Ride?
No, that's a different one.
What is that? What is that one? No, Rocket Ride. Baby wants a fast, baby wants a blast. She wants a rocket ride. She wants a rocket ride. Yeah.
I'm thinking the one where
baby's on her knees.
Yeah.
What's the name of that song?
Take me.
Take me anywhere you want me. Just take me anywhere you can. Yeah, that one.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm gonna listen to Kiss all the way home. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. As always, I am the Boom Operator.
I am the Grip.
And we will catch you guys next week. Tartar.